Welcome. Today we're going to now go on site. We're going to go into Lubumbashi. But before I start my presentation, I would like to start with a quote, which is quite straightforward. One man's waste or trash is another man's treasure. Today I present to you MES. MES is a conglomerate of various different companies. We have components of agriculture, which you see Terra, which the minister, thank you Mr. Kazadi, who briefed you on our maize plantation. Then we have African Milling, which specializes in maize flour production. Congo F, which is a layer or egg production facility. Sotrafer, where we convert scrap metal into rebars for construction. Anodis Africa, where we convert or we recycle batteries into lead and then there into anode production. And Clean Congo, which collects waste from various different mining companies for different usages. And then we have various other companies which His Excellency spoke about: Congo Cables and Transformers, Congo Piping, and Rainbow. Today's objective is to discuss, next slide please, what is the circular economy? So I'm going to just read the definition. It is a sustainable economic model aimed at recycling waste and maintaining resources and materials for as long as possible in the value chain. The DRC has been using principles of circular economy since the beginning of time. As the new economic and technological models change, opportunities for agriculture, industry, and waste management can be harnessed to improve livelihoods and reduce poverty. Platforms such as RISPAY should play a role in building a restorative African economy which creates inclusive well-being and prosperity for the population. I'm going to show you what we do with the batteries. Next slide. So when we collect batteries from various different organizations and industries, next slide. We use the batteries for two objectives. The plastic casing is reused to make chairs, buckets, and other household items, but the actual lead is used to produce anodes which are used for copper production. If you see the statistics, in 2022, the DRC produced 2.5 million tons of copper. In order to produce this copper, 80,000 anode plates were required. Prior to our production facility, these anodes were imported from South Africa and then re-exported for refurbishment. So you can see the reduction in emissions. Next slide. In used oil by our company Clean Congo, the actual used oil is then reprocessed into fuel oil, which is used for generating power or as a gasoline for generators and other usage. Plus we have charcoal bricks which are used in furnaces as well. Next slide. Next slide. And now I'm going to speak to you about the journey of agriculture, which I like to call from farm to table. As mentioned in my next slide, as mentioned in my first slide, this is our agri portfolio, where we have 10,000 hectares of land under Terra, we have a maize mill under African Milling, and we have an egg production facility which does 200,000 eggs a day. I'm going to show you a short video on our agriculture journey.
Clearing.
As you can see, next slide. As you can see, the impact of the circular economy in the DRC, there are 4 major advantages. Obviously, the environmental advantage, the currency where we maintain our dollars or currency in country instead of exporting, which I'm sure the Minister of Finance is quite pleased with, job creation and industrial diversification. And last, I'm going to end off with one video which shows all of our production facilities in Lubumbashi where the recycling takes place under MES. Just one quote I would like to leave everyone with. Often, it is when you complete one task or one course that you realize that it's a start of another. And this is the circular economy. Now I ask myself, or we should all ask ourselves, why the DRC? 80 million people, or maybe 100 million, 80 million hectares of arable land. Today we've only touched on the copper and cobalt industry. When you look at the table of elements, I think the DRC has 80 or 90% in country. Therefore, we have a long way to go, and it is our obligation and it's for us to be the catalyst to initiate this. So when we talk about risk, we have to see where the country started and where we've come today, how far we are. We used to talk about $10 million investments, but today the country is talking about billion-dollar investments. So I think in terms of risk, we're passing this phase, and I would like to thank the government, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance for their support, and a special thanks to FPI. They've been instrumental in financing some of the initiatives that you've seen today, as well as IFC. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.